Is The Old Guard 2 a letdown for fans of the original? Discover how the sequel shakes up the action genre with a fresh twist, yet leaves something to be desired. Plot. The story continues with Andy, a leader of a band of immortal warriors, confronting a formidable new adversary who endangers their mission to protect humanity. A forgotten immortal's return adds complexity to their quest. Review. Let's rewind to when Netflix's The Old Guard first offered us an exciting escape during the COVID-19 lockdown. With its revitalizing take on the comic book scenario, it stood out as a refreshing alternative to the usual superhero blockbusters by Marvel and DC. Fast forward 5 years, and the anticipated sequel has arrived, bringing with it a surprise face-off between Charlize Theron and Uma Thurman, an encounter we didn't know we wanted. The Old Guard 2 expands on the original comic lore by Greg Rucka while setting the stage for more chapters. However, unlike its predecessor, The Old Guard 2 struggles to maintain the same quality. With a crowded cast and convoluted storylines, the sequel doesn't quite measure up to the standout comic book movie of the past decade. In the original film, we joined Andromache of Scythia, Andy, played by Charlize Theron, an ageless warrior leading an immortal mercenary crew. Detecting other immortals, Andy recruits a newly deceased U.S. Marine, Niall Freeman, Kiki Lane, into the ranks. Confronting a nefarious pharmaceutical executive, they highlight the limits of their regenerative abilities while pursuing Andy's imprisoned companion, Quinn, Van Veronica Go, who was exiled in an Iron Maiden under the sea for alleged sorcery. Concluding the first movie, Andy's mortality is revealed, and a teaser shows Quinn's visit to Booker, Matthias Schoenert's. This sequel kicks off with Quinn's release by Discord, Uma Thurman, the oldest immortal, who harbors a vengeful plot against the humankind. Consequently, a major clash ensues between Andy's group of heroes and Quinn with Discord. But here's where it gets controversial. One of the first film's drawbacks was the deficiency of a worthy adversary capable of standing up to the immortal protagonists. The villain, Merrick, Harry Melling, came across as a stereotypical bad guy without the presence or skills to challenge Andy. The sequel adds complexities to Andy's squad by aligning them with turned foe, turned CIA ally James Copley, Chiviel F4, and the immortal Sage Tua, Henry Golding, both sharing their regenerative talents, saying two compelling new foes. Central to the story is the tension between Andy and Quinn, thanks to their fractured friendship, which might have hints of a romantic past, something unexplored despite Joe, Marwan Kenzari, and Nikki's Luca Marilli openly portrayed relationship. While Theron and Ngo bring a deep connection to their on-screen interactions, an important emotional layer remains unspoken. But this is the part most people miss. Uma Thurman's Discord, unfortunately, doesn't compare well. With limited interaction alongside Theron, Discord appears underdeveloped and seems shoved into the plot, leaving a lackluster impression. Most of her screen time is spent conversing, not showcasing the fierce combat expected, a disappointment for fans anticipating a dynamic battle sequence. The brief 10 minutes of screen time between Thurman and Theron doesn't deliver the intensity expected of a climactic showdown, with the action lacking the punch of the original. Imagine if Gina Prince Bythewood had remained in the director's chair. With its swift 100-minute runtime, The Old Guard 2 struggles to weave its stories and lacks the resonance of its predecessor's fight scenes. Despite the inclusion of a twist around the Immortals' rules, the stakes feel less intense. As an intriguing setup for what could be a final installment in the trilogy, The Old Guard 2 remains a bridge between the compelling original film and a potential conclusion. While the sequel caters to original fans, the franchise could benefit from fresh directorial vision to revive its magic. Do you think, does The Old Guard 2 hold up against its predecessor? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The Old Guard 2 is currently available on Netflix.